I'm Virginia Larzelere. I can tell you the truth, and it's going to be contradictory to everything you've read, seen in the media. Norman and I had a very open relationship, and unfortunately that open relationship came back to bite me.
What's the problem, ma'am? Somebody just came in and stole the house. Somebody what? Somebody just came in and stole the house, man. All right, calm down, ma'am. I need your help.
You saw the gunman that day, and you said a lot of times that he was not anyone you knew. And Jason came over later that night. Did you ever think that Jason was a shooter, or did it never even occur to you?
It never occurred to me because, number one, they're completely different sizes, and number two, the skin that I drew up the left arm was a very tanned skin, and Jason wasn't tan. He had just gotten out of the hospital like 2 weeks prior to that.
Heidel, I believe, said that they went back to your house and encased the guns in concrete, and then
that's true,
and then threw it into the water.
That's true. He testified in court that he and Kristen Palmieri encased guns in the bathtub of my home.
What night did he say?
Sunday night, the 10th.
So the murder happened Friday.
Friday the 8th.
And he said it happened Sunday the 10th.
Yes, he did. And at the time that he said he was at the house, Gamel and Osborne were at the house. They were asking me more questions, and as a matter of fact, they were doing a perusal of the home.
What was when Heidel started giving his story that he did? What was your reaction?
Well, any reaction that I had would be from the news media accounts that were playing out.
Yeah.
Jason and I had a no-contact order the whole time we were at Volusia County Jail. We were not allowed to write. We were not allowed to speak. If he was out of his cell, I had to be locked down.
So you had no idea what was happening until the trial?
None.
You had no idea that story that Heidel was telling until the trial?
Didn't know.
What was your reaction?
As a matter of fact, I never thought for 1 minute I'd be found guilty. Not of something I didn't do. Now, if you want to parade everything that I did do out there, I'm guilty of a lot, but I'm just not guilty of this. When I was arrested, the arrest affidavit said Virginia hired Jason to kill his father based on witness statements, Palmieri and Heidel. That was taken to the grand jury, and so I was indicted, Virginia and Jason. I thought when the juror member came forward and said they had newspapers and so forth, I figured that the judge would rule for a new trial. But that morning he had denied the new trial and immediately sentenced me to death. It's a scary experience walking into death row. It's hard to describe. Like I said, the dorm was approximately this big with cells around this area and the officer bubble in the middle. It's a very dark place. It was painted entirely pink. All the walls were pink. The doors were pink. The death watch cells down at the end had iron bars on them, and it was painted what they call blood pink. If you had a death warrant signed, that's where you went to the death watch cell. So it was a very dismal place. At Broward, when I got to death row, there were 6 of us on death row. Judy Buenoano, Andrea Jackson, Anna Cordona, Eileen Warnes, and myself, and 6 of us. Death row is the last stop. Everybody is your friend. It's a sisterhood, because you never know when the death warrant's going to be signed. After you exhaust your appeals, your death warrant can be signed. So it was a sisterhood. We shared everything. If one person had canteen and someone did not, we shared. And it was that way for the entire 10 years. Do I deserve to be punished for the things I've done in my life? Yes. Do I deserve this punishment? No. But karma, you cannot put negative in the universe. You cannot split up happy homes and take fathers away from children, or close down private schools, or use money, power, and wealth and hurt people in your life without it coming back to hurt you. And I did all those things.
And you feel like you've paid for those sins at this point?
I do. I can't point out any person that can look me in the eye and say they've never done something wrong in their